Welcome to a Drop Tent Media production.
Seriously, Dad?
Seriously, Dad? Two father comedians out of Philadelphia. Seriously, Dad?
Dad?
Seriously, Dad?
Seriously? Seriously?
Of summer vacation. Actually, I feel like back to school is going to be popping up like
Yo, it's like halfway
any
through.
second. Easy.
Dude, it's halfway through.
Easy.
Summer's my favorite. Summer's my favorite, hands down, my favorite season.
How could it not be?
And it's so quick. It's so fucking, and it's probably my favorite season because when I was a kid, we got off of school and like that's when life got good. And it is halfway over it, and I am like almost crying inside.
Yeah, so I wonder how that is because I've always had summers off for my entire life as a teen. You know what I
Oh
mean?
my
Like,
gosh, yeah, you went from
so
yeah, oh
weird.
my
I
God.
would not. Now I've always I've always worked, but like I didn't have to.
Yeah.
but I always did work. But yeah, it's knowing I could just take that
Man.
break. It's weirder for me because I'm not going back to school
Right, because
in
you
the
got
fall.
the sabbatical, right?
Yeah, so I'm
you're
taking off
you're
to like
partying,
third
dude.
week of January.
Wow.
So it's like it's so like bonus. Like when you wake up and you like have a delay as a kid, you're like, oh my god, I get to go back to sleep.
Yeah.
Or you wake up really early
Yep.
and you still have a ton of time. That's how I feel. Like I'm gonna get to where my kids are going back, my wife's going back,
and
and
you're
I'm
like,
just gonna be
"Daddy's
like,
chilling,
"What?"
motherfucker. Yeah.
and it's longer than summer.
Yeah,
because it's
that's
essentially 18 weeks.
That's beautiful, man.
So I get 18 more weeks of not working.
Look at you go.
That's
And,
crazy.
see, when you're a kid, though, when you're
He's
a
going
kid,
to lose his mind. You know that, right?
Yeah,
He's,
totally.
Albert,
You
you
can't
can
write
hear
enough jokes. You can't write enough jokes.
you can hear it in him. He is going to lose his mind. We are going to see him after the sabbatical, and he is going to have built some kind of contraption in his garage.
Yeah,
He's going to swear it actually
It does
floats.
something.
He's going to be
Dude.
like, dude, this boat's going to be righteous.
you know, in Only Sunny Philadelphia, where he's Charlie's like Pepe Silva, and he's got all the strings, and he's going crazy. That's going to be you with the jokes.
right.
He's going to be like, okay, so here's the punchline. It's going to be a red rope here, a red string here. He's
Yeah, right?
smoking
That's so
cigarettes
funny.
and going nuts.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But see, when you were a kid, though, there was a time of which you were excited to go back to school.
Yeah,
Probably
new
never
haircut,
happens as a
new
teacher.
threads.
Oh,
you
new
wanted to
gear.
see
Oh my
did
God.
did Leslie did the summer treat Leslie well?
Yeah,
you know,
That is very
it makes
true.
me think of
That's
rookie.
very true.
No, did you ever see Rookie of the Year?
Yeah.
And she's like, "Milk's done that body good."
Which, by the way, I was thinking about that. That movie would be canceled. You couldn't make that movie now.
that for me
he-
is childhood. That movie is childhood for me.
Yeah,
Like,
he says funky butt love, and you couldn't even say that.
Like,
Yeah,
I used to, as a baseball coach, when I had a kid whose last name was something like Reinheimer,
Rowan
so I used to
Gardner,
call him
him with the Rowan
Rosenbagger. Rosenbagger. Like,
you couldn't even
name
do.
every
You couldn't
time.
even do
Yeah.
that now. No, but yeah, I absolutely love summer. I love the long days. I love being hot. I love like tank tops. Like I just love it, dude. Playing golf.
yeah.
And
It's a hot boy summer for him over
Hot boy
there.
summer.
You know what I
Hot
mean?
boy summer.
And
You're a golfer.
vacation.
We got to
Vacation.
golf. We should do a.
we could do a golf outing for the.
That would be so cool.
That would be
Father's
nice.
Day weekend golf outing.
Oh, we're recording that.
Saturday
That's
golf,
happening.
Sunday live recording brunch.
There you go. Seriously,
be
dad
good.
stuff.
I like
Love it.
No, but you're right. Summers. I mean,
Yeah.
all of that, and then the vacations. Did you? I mean, now we weren't like well to do, so it wasn't like we were doing Disney, but we would do camping or something cheap, or even just a road trip or Knobles, which is this like.
I'm familiar with
it's-
the.
I've
never been there, but I know what
so
it
yeah,
is.
so it's a family-owned amusement park, but their thing was it's free parking and it's free to go into the park. You're not paying to go in.
to breach the gate.
You're,
You
you're
can just go
paying
hang out.
you're paying for your food. You're paying if you go on a ride. You could get the bracelets. You could do the whole deal, but you don't have to.
See, so that's a beautiful thing. The free parking, beautiful, fucking beautiful. Like going to like
Picnic
Dorney Bar,
tables
Six
everywhere, so
Flags,
you
and
can
having
bring
to
your
pay
own
for
food.
parking. That's so.
The
Like,
fact that you could bring your own food if you wanted
Yeah.
to. They have the grills that you could bring the charcoal, and
that's
do
nice.
the
Who
deal.
walks into an?
no one walks
You
to
don't
Six
walk,
Flags.
you got to organize a bus
Yeah,
to
you
get
don't
there
walk
and
to Six
stuff.
Flags.
You don't walk to Six
No.
Flags. That's
Yeah.
Nah, we weren't big vacations. So what we had is we called it our country house. We had a place in the Catskills where we would go all summer. So we go from New York City. The day summer got out, we went up there and we were gone. So we weren't doing New York City summers, which was probably good for a youngster.
Yeah.
And then as we got older, camp and or hanging out all summer.
right.
A couple summers, we were the kids who were hanging out all summer.
Yeah, staycations. They
Yeah.
they weren't, it wasn't a thing. But yeah, we would always do something. And now even as adults, like Amanda and I, we would always, as soon as school would ended, would do a trip or do something, even if it was like a bed and breakfast in Lancaster. You know,
You
something
gotta get
simple, something close. But like the last couple years with the kids have been great because 2 years ago, right after COVID started breaking, Amanda let me like plan a trip to Disney. So we did our like Disney, but we only did it for like 3 days. Like,
How was it? Was it overwhelming? Was it kind of chaos? Because I've heard things.
But I've been to Disney a few times, so I knew what to expect. And having kids there, actually, it was kind of nice because you got to see them enjoy everything. And you just pace yourself. We were like, all right, we know we didn't have any expectations. We're not like, you got to stay in the park till 8:00 at night, and we did a day in between. So we did like, the first day we did Magic Kingdom. Then we did pool day just at the hotel.
Okay.
Then we did Epcot. Then we did pool day just at the hotel. Then we did, Animal
And
Kingdom.
you felt very safe, right? You felt
Yes.
like it's a very safe
It was
park.
great.
Yeah,
And I think the saving grace is busy. It's going to be busy, but it wasn't overwhelming. And they had really good services so that for Alicia, we were able to get not fast pass, but whatever the wait was.
version.
Let's say the wait was 50 minutes. We would go to them. They would then scan her bracelet, and then they would give us the 4 passes for 50 minutes. So in 50 minutes, we could go to the exit, show them the ticket, and they would put us right on the
So you
ride.
weren't waiting
So you
in
still
line.
had to. You're still
waiting,
waiting.
but
You
you
just
didn't
didn't
have
have
to
to
stand
stand
still.
in the line.
Very nice.
I could take her to the shade. I could take her for a walk. We could go look at the gift shop, have an ice cream.
Now, everything's super expensive in that joint?
Yeah. Oh my God. It was like everything was like $20. It
See,
was
that,
like,
that, you gotta
just
stop with that
it's
shit,
so
man.
much, but that's where they're making. That's like it's like that's where they're making their money. Especially if you think about if you're a Florida resident, you get a crazy deal on a membership
Because
there.
you're not
so
a,
it's like the movies,
tourist.
like movie theaters.
Yeah.
They don't make any money on movie tickets. They make maybe a nickel because all of that money's going to Tom Cruise for learning how to jump out of that goddamn
It's not going to the
airplane.
writers. We know that.
Yeah.
It's not going to the
So
writers.
everything's on the bucket of popcorn and the drinks. So it's like I get it.
It's still.
You just have to be smart. You have to be smart about it, and
Because
you know.
can you walk in there with a bag full of like fruit and you can
So
bring your own
if
stuff?
you so with Alicia, we could make a case for her, but not normally.
Yeah.
But you could make a case, and there's certain snacks you could take in. It's not like they're forcing you
Okay.
to. But like, yeah, it's just it's a lot. It's overwhelming. But I think that's why we were like, you know what, we're not gonna have any expectations. Alicia might melt down on the first time. We might lose an entire day.
Yeah, it
So
could
we're like
happen.
just 3 days, breaks in between, and honestly, it was great. We had a great time. The girls loved it. It wasn't, too crazy. I did write a bit about it after where I made it seem like it was worse than
But
it
it
was.
wasn't. You
But
had
for
to
me, it
sell
was
it.
just like this being hot. Like I just had a dad towel over my shoulder the whole
God,
time, and I
you
was
just
like,
sweat. Oh.
sweat. That's why I wrote in the job. I was like, thank God we got the photo on the way into the park while we all still loved each other, and before I sweat through my
Yeah.
shirt for the 20th time.
See, we never went on many vacations. So, but we were out, like I said, and it was called Ellenville, New York, and we were just there. And our friends from New York would come up on like the weekends, or we'd have friends come up, and we had like a pool. It was really, really nice setup. From New York City to that was like mind blowing. But we did some. Oh, my grandfather used to live in Cape Cod. So
Oh,
we would do
yeah.
Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, do a little whale watching.
Now, I've done. We went up to the tip of Cape Cod when I was like 10 or 11. Loved it.
Yeah, would love to do it as a grown up. Haven't done it as a grown. I
Yeah,
think I
neither.
would so much appreciate that now.
Yeah,
But,
I was
me
like
and my
10
wife
or
just
11,
run
I
out.
think, when we went. And I remember us driving up, and we were notorious for stopping at, like, because my parents were very frugal. So we would stop at the grocery store, go in and get like a quarter pound of like whatever meats.
Ground beef or something,
And then
right,
you get a
yeah.
loaf of bread, or you get some wraps. And then those wraps you could keep using. And then you just had like a little cooler that we would keep in the car with us. And then we had our breakfast. So we would go to a beach.
Yeah.
We had our lunch, and then maybe we would treat ourselves to a dinner. But like they were very good at like making it a vacation, but like being smart about where you spend your money.
Oh yeah, and that I mean, as a grown up, I actually would like to go back. That is a beautiful place. That's a really cool place. But yeah, we didn't do much of that. But now with my girls, we haven't gone to Disney and stuff like that. I don't know if I have a desire to go to Disney. I'm gonna be honest with you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to see their way, and we went on my daughter's 6th birthday, so it was cool because it was cool to see her lighting up. That everybody was like, because they recognize, like, she had the pin. Every cast member stops, like, and says
gives a little
happy
extra
birthday. It's
love.
like a big
Oh,
thing,
yeah.
and they catch it. They're like eagle eyes. And
Who's
so
your
she
favorite
felt-
Disney? Who's your favorite
So
Disney?
when I was younger, I went around. I remember I had an autograph book, and I was looking hard for Minnie because I had like the biggest
Okay.
crush on Minnie.
Okay.
And I remember
Now
just going through and wanting Minnie Mouse to sign my autograph.
Did you get
book.
it?
I don't even remember, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I didn't.
Probably not. 'cause
But I
you were-
remember
if
the
you're
Ninja
big-
Turtles were there because that was big.
How were they there for Disney? Ninja
So
Turtles are
there
Disney?
must have been some kind of crossover, but they were in one of the parades or things. They came out, and I remember just like losing it because they were
Now, here's something I learned.
biggest
I had a friend, he worked for Disney I think it was Disneyland, Disney, one of them. So he told me a couple things. One, if you have a hat on, like a costume on with that, you cannot take it off. Not in front of the kids. And he was like, sometimes people got really hot and they would like throw up in there or something. You cannot take it off.
Yeah,
So
you gotta
that's
stay.
disgusting. The other thing I found out is that Walt Disney smoked cigarettes. And a lot of times he's in a picture, his hands are like this, and they took the
I've
cigarette
heard
out.
this.
So when you point, you have to point with 2 fingers or your whole hand. So you go, oh, it's that way
they're
instead of going that way.
They're doing the military.
Is that a
that's
military?
That's a military thing.
That's
Blade.
you
You do a blade.
your hand?
You don't. There's no
It's-
pointing in the
it's
military.
serious.
That way.
Really?
That's interesting. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Did you know it's built above ground, so like
And it's
really
all
all
down-
the stuff's
yeah, all the
underneath you,
infrastructure
but
is
that's
beneath.
ground level. So
yep.
you're. I didn't
That's insane.
realize-
That's actually pretty like
You gotta
thinking
really-
far ahead.
well,
Because you didn't see any trash there, did you?
No, of
There
course
was no trash. It's extremely clean, right?
Yeah,
And it's because
extremely
when you
clean.
put it in the trash can, it goes.
What, and they stay in care. Wait, I noticed I've always been a Disney guy, but for baseball, we would take the baseball team when I started coaching varsity. We would take them for spring training. And so we started not doing Disney, but we did Universal. And I had never been to Universal. I'd only ever been to Disney. I will say that Harry Potter world, they're in character and they mean it. It's just like
They're serious with it. So
they're
Universal,
serious.
that's Universal Studios.
Universal
Studios.
Studios.
That's like where Jaws is.
So that would have been one. Any of the ones that are movie related, the Marvel characters,
Okay.
are part of it. Harry Potter,
that still
part of
going?
it.
That place
Cartoons
still
like
goes?
Popeye and Betty Boop,
Really?
and some of those fit into it.
Okay. I
Because
see. I
they
didn't
have the
know that.
different worlds. The Simpsons were part of it. They have a whole Simpsons. You can go to
Oh, wow.
Moe's.
Really?
Yeah, really cool. And the cool thing is in the Harry Potter, they have like 3 parks. I forget the name, but there's like 3 in Orlando that are all in the same comp, kind of like
Okay.
Epcot, kind of like what Disney does.
Okay.
But there's a train in the Harry Potter world. You can actually ride the train between 2 of the parks.
Whoa.
Which is kind of cool.
Like
It's
the
kinda-
Hogwarts Express or
Yeah,
whatever.
so it
Look,
becomes- it
geez,
takes
look at that
you
Hogwarts
between-
Express.
Yeah, because then you go through the platform of whatever 9 and
What he
3/4 or
what he
whatever.
crossed through or whatever.
Yeah,
and
it's
play around the
and
Quidditch.
legit, the whole thing legit, because the windows turn into like TVs at some point, so that
So it gets
they
you
can
like,
pass.
wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the whole
That's not bad.
setup is, and the Simpsons. Oh, I was big
Yeah.
in Simpsons too.
Can you
Sit
get
in
so? Can you
Moe's.
go to Moe's and get Duffs and like drink
Yeah,
a beer in
you
there?
have a beer.
No shit.
Yep,
Okay.
crazy.
All right. Now, that's probably I don't know. If
Oh
that's
yeah, I
worth
mean
it, but-
Disney. It's not that Disney's not doing all the cool stuff. They're doing the cool stuff. They're just also possibly causing child trafficking. It's fine, guys.
No,
we're not worried.
Hey,
but
the
there is a
that's-
Disney-
I didn't see that in the carousel products.
There is a Disney thing. They're like
They left it out.
people are not happy with Disney, right? Disney like DeSantis all pissed off with Disney, and isn't
Yeah.
that like a thing?
Well, there was a whole debate over, I think, that don't say gay bill and Disney doubling down on supporting LGBT.
but Disney never they don't say gay, do they?
No, it's the more of like DeSantis didn't like how strong Disney's hold was in and taking a political, technically quote unquote, the rights of apparently
Is that what it was?
LGBTQ people apparently is a political stance. I don't know how exactly that
Yeah.
is, but yeah. So it's that kind of thing of that fight.
So
back and forth.
but both parks are made. Both companies are parks. So like I loved. For me, it was nostalgia for me as a kid, but then also for the girls to like see them and see the princesses. For them,
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
like
yeah, that's probably
meeting
huge.
the princesses is like
Yeah.
I mean, don't
Did
get me
you-
wrong. I
did
didn't
you-
mind meeting the princesses either.
Princess Jasmine was so hot. Let's keep it real. Princess Jasmine was so hot.
Don't
She
do
was
this.
She was the one.
Yes.
Yeah, she-
absolutely.
Yeah,
Giant crush.
Yeah,
Giant.
great, yeah.
As much as you can on a fictional character, a
Yeah.
cartoon.
Well,
Hey, my man over here was in the mini. I mean, Princess
That's right,
Jasmine was way
that's
better.
right.
Yeah, that's a little
That's
better.
right.
So would you go back?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
can't wait to go back.
Really?
We took
Okay.
the other thing was like I wanted it to be so we didn't road trip the whole way. So what we did is we took an airplane one way and then we rented a minivan and drove back.
Oh,
so
snap.
that way we made
Okay.
it a 2-week vacation. But so we had spent the week
They
in
got that
Florida.
teacher schedule. They got 2
Yep.
weeks to do this
And,
thing.
but-
Oh my
and,
gosh.
and we took my mom with us, and so it was cool because the girls got to do their first airplane ride. But we also had the constraint of my mom, and I was debating would my mom use the scooter that she needed to use if she was going to make it through the days, which she did. And so we had all of that balancing to do too. Which it was hard because for the second week with my mom, like having her needs as an adult met were what she wanted to do,
Right.
and making sure that was something we realized in the second
Dude,
part.
you are like juggling.
Well, those
And
are
there's a lot, but it was cool to take I wanted it to be road trip. So we drove from Florida back up. We stopped at North Carolina for like,
I mean,
6
road trips are where
days.
the experiences are.
And I
Road
love
trips,
it.
road trips are where the experiences are. In the car, talking, stopping here, stopping there. I mean, road trips do.
We're doing one this mid-August. So when I get back from the next leg of the tour, I get back on the 7th. We're leaving on the 8th. I actually got a gig out in Pittsburgh, Kansas. Of all places. So it's on the 11th. So we're leaving the 8th. We're going to leave at like 3 a.m. and try to make it to St. Louis to do the arch. So there's there's like the last tour is at like 6:30. So we were like, it's like a 14-hour ride. So we're leaving ourselves a lot of padding because we know we're going to have to stop with the girls. Each meal a couple times. So my wife's been good about planning it out, and just going to be the 4 of us, and my oldest wants to see as many states as possible.
Okay.
So we're going to try to plan the itinerary so that we don't go in the same direction, so that we
Wow,
come
you
in.
doing? Yeah. Like if I was a kid and I was like, "Hey, we're going on this road trip, and I want to see how many states," they would have been like, "Okay, well, do that on your own fucking
Right.
time. We're going straight line there and back." You know
It's
what
gonna, I mean, there's going to be some moments in the car where I'm going to be like, really? But like,
Yeah.
because they're going to be going at it with each other.
Well, dude, that's the thing. Like we were just at the beach with my girls yesterday, Ocean City, New Jersey, and like they want to go in the water, out of the water, build a sandcastle, back in the water. Let's play wiffle ball. I'm hungry. There's a green fly on me. Like it's just everything, and it's easy to like want to just be like, like to get frustrated and be like, this is a lot. They're never going to be this old again. You're never going to get that chance again. So you better get in that cold ass ocean, get a face full of salt water, deal with those because you say no, daddy's a little tired, never going to get it again.
Yeah, I think about that a lot. Whenever I say no, if I hear myself say no to my daughters, there's almost like I have a visceral reaction where I like proverbially smack myself in the face.
Right. Like, is it really no, or am I being a lazy shit right
That's
now?
right.
Like, is it
Yeah.
really no? Is it danger? No, it's that I don't want to get up. I just got warm. The water's kind of cold.
Yep.
You better get your ass in that water. You better drive through those states because you're never going to get it again.
Yeah.
That's really like the biggest thing. Now, do you and your wife ever go on vacation?
So
alone?
we used to do a lot of so we had done Disney. She had never been before, so when we were dating, that was one of our trips over winter break. We
This whole time you've been adults for Disney? I had no idea.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know you were in the room.
yeah.
I didn't know you were representing adults for Disney over here, and you just kept that a secret.
I converted my wife. Well, she's not like as crazy as I am, but like, well, for me, it's this. Yeah, it is this nostalgia of a moment in childhood where, for me especially, like it was like just a great time. I enjoyed the time I was at Disney with my family, regardless of which part of my family I was with or what situation we were in. That was always like
What's
a
your favorite
happy
Disney
moment.
movie? What's your favorite Disney movie?
Sword in the Stone.
Oh shit. Okay.
We just had that and Robin Hood.
Okay.
Yes.
Those were the two that we had because I remember the
Big
VHS,
plastic, the big it's like a
plastic,
binder,
the white thing, yeah.
Woof.
So I just remember we had those two, and the concept of Sword in the Stone is like they actually, and they actually have one outside of in Magic Kingdom
That you try
where you
to
can
pull and you can't get.
and then yes, and then Robin Hood was always.
Robin, come on,
I love it.
Robin's that shit, yeah.
So like those two were my favorite growing up.
See, we go. So me and Sammy, we go on adult vacations. It's like we just got back from Puerto Rico. If you had great place, you got to go. We do it we're very simple when we go on vacations. We fly in, we get the rental car, we stop at the grocery store, we buy all the food.
Right.
Go up to the Airbnb, and we don't see many human beings. Like we're in Puerto Rico with Barranquitas. We're up in the mountain. You like that, right? That was good
saw
Spanish,
that.
right? Barranquitas. We're up in the mountains. We're overlooking the jungle. There's like this little pool. You open the doors. It goes from the kitchen right to the outside. And we just we're doing it. Just
Hell yeah.
no pun intended. We were just living it. The music was playing, a little bit of whiskey, a little bit of wine. The edibles were good, and just making food all day and being away from people. That's vacation to me.
That's it. You're vacating everything.
Get away from it. I don't want traffic. The phone doesn't work. Great. That's even better. That's a bonus if the phone doesn't work.
That's cool.
I can't get on social media. My bad. And it's just, that's perfect. That was perfect, man. And that's what we do.
I'm a big thing now, and I don't know if this was because we were so frugal. I want to spend. I want to be treated like a king.
Yeah, you want that.
Like when
baller
we got
status.
married, I remember going to the travel agent for a honeymoon and being like, "Listen, I want to be treated like a king from a foreign land. That's what I want."
Well, not in America. 'Cause-
But we went to these all inclusive resorts in like Mexico, and that's where we're in Playa Mujeres, and it was like that. It was like, the thing opens up to the ocean view, and it's the hot tub that you can open the windows, and now your
and you
ocean
can hear
view
the
hot
ocean. Yeah,
tub,
that's what you
and
need.
all of that I think is cool.
I remember I did all inclusive. I was a guest at a wedding, all inclusive in Mexico, and we're hanging out at a thing, and I wasn't really ready for what all inclusive meant. So we go to dinner, eat all this sushi. It's really good, and I'm like, damn, that was really good. Guy goes, "You want more?" I was like, oh shit. I was like, can you do all that again? He's like, yep. Next thing you know,
crazy?
all the same. And I was like, wow, this is insane that you can just do that. And
yeah. Well, no, you guys went to Puerto Rico, just the two of you,
Just
right?
the two of us,
See,
yeah.
So I guess, Amanda, we could if we left them with one, but it's such a pain sometimes. So now I have to think, every vacation I have to be thinking about, because I would love to do those, but now it's like, talking about cruise ships, or even things where you're like, oh, there's got to be a thing for the kids to do. And then it's like, even if there is a kid camp, we don't know that Alicia would be able to hang with it or how she would do.
Yeah.
So it's like one of those things that it's like, it'll be cool if we get to do another anniversary. Our anniversary is August 6th. And it's always August 6th. Isn't that funny? It's so weird.
It's coming up. There you go.
Yeah, well, and we're not going to be together for the third year in a row.
Wow.
Or the 1 year I had COVID, and then last year I was away, and I'm away again this year.
Wow.
So, but I can't wait till we can do a second honeymoon or something where we go away, because my mom would totally do that. She would, and Amanda's parents are really great.
Watch the kids,
so they
watch
would
the kids.
share the responsibility of one each, either whether they switch and each have one, or let us get away for 3 nights, 4 days.
Airbnb makes everything. I'm a fan of Airbnb. Yeah. I like them because we went to. First of all, Sammy is if travel agents still exist, do they exist anywhere?
Yeah.
She could be that, because she can go on Airbnb. She finds everything. Oh, this is close to this. Is close to this. Is on its way here. It's only 2 hours from here. She finds it all, and then it's a great place to stay. But you can do one of the first vacations her and I took was this Airbnb to Port Charles, Virginia, and it was called the Laughing King. Shout out to the Laughing King. It was beautiful. And we got A-frame house with a loft. The bay was there. They had a pool there. And it was just like that, because that's what I like, to get away from people. And we just hung out and walked down there's these small things of just walking down a road with no cars on it. Beautiful.
Yeah. Have you ever met people on other couples on vacation and had dinner with them?
Yeah, at that place.
Oh, did you?
We met. We didn't go to dinner with them, but at the end of the day, because there was an Airbnb, a bigger house, and then we had this tiny house off to the side. We would sit around a fire and have some beers.
That's
and
cool.
like that stuff.
So there was an Instagram post or a TikTok recently I saw where it's this wife at this resort with her husband, and the whole thing was her saying, "Oh my God, we're having dinner with Ken and Stacy tonight," and he's like, "Why are we having dinner with these strangers?" "No, they're our friends." "No, they're strangers you met in the ocean." And clearly he hadn't been in the ocean with her, and she just had him going all day. They're getting ready for dinner. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to have dinner with strangers." And then they finally get down there, and she's like, "What if I told you there was no Ken and Stacy?" And that was the whole bit. She just had him going the whole time, because she knew that his mentality was, "I want to be away from people."
Yeah.
And she was trying to make friends. But we had a couple that we met on our anniversary, because they got married at the same time, we're at the the all inclusive. They're from this area. We're still friends. Like
Really?
15 years later.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
And we went to the hibachi sushi place together, and there's a photo of us just blitzed.
Having
The
a
four of us just blitzed, and you could just see
do
it
the
in
thing
our
without you
faces.
again. Do the thing without you.
And it comes
Babe,
up
what
on
you
our
do without
time
you?
hop every year,
Yeah.
and it's like the only time we touch base with this couple now, because like they have kids that are going off to college. And,
Oh, you don't make friends into adulthood that way. It's
no,
very
but
hard to
it
make
just,
a-
but it's
friends
this
into
fun
adulthood.
thing. Like we'll always have that moment. We'll
Yeah.
always have the hibachi at this all inclusive, and it's just like this fun moment because they're not really our friends, but like we get to keep tabs on them. Like it's their daughter's like killing it in softball, get a
There you go,
scholarship.
yeah.
Like so you're like good on them. Like oh, we were both at the same spot for the same reason.
At the same time,
And
in
we
our
just so
lives,
like
and,
sometimes that's fun when you meet somebody. I remember when I was 16 or 15, I probably told this before, 60 girls from Panama were on this cruise ship because they were celebrating a girl's quinceañera. And I was like going up using my broken Spanish. And I remember I can still see the picture that I had to get developed at the store when I got home.
on your disposable
I can still see
camera.
the picture of the girl looking back, sitting at the table on the deck eating breakfast that I took right before we left the last day. And it's just so implanted in my memory.
Yeah,
Did she know you
the
took that
creep
picture?
shot.
Yeah.
Long lens, guys. Long lens.
No, but like just
Yeah,
it was this cool, and like we probably held hands on the deck and had a kiss. The
100%. No, there are
but like
moments. Yeah.
we were like in my head, it was like
You're
You
probably gonna
remember-
marry that
Yeah,
girl.
right,
You
or like-
thought about like moving
and
back
then
there, and, being like,
and then never had contact ever again.
we'll meet
after
back
that
here in 10
moment.
years if we're not married.
Right.
And then my mom probably has that photo in a like
Somewhere,
scrapbook
yeah.
somewhere, like that I'll find buried in a storage.
What if your
closet.
mom understood the entire content? She's showing it to people. Like she's actually like, here's my son Jay. He's horny for her. like she just knew the context. It wasn't.
She got mad. Well, I had a girlfriend at the time once that found some of those photos of me and like exes and like cut some of them or like destroyed them, and she got so pissed. Yeah, the girl was not stable.
Yeah.
But she had gone through and destroyed some old prom pictures and like things like that. Like
There is a nostalgia to it.
Well, you had him up over top of the bed, which was strange
which
for her.
was-
I
yeah,
feel
that's-
like.
He had him taped under the dresser. There is a nostalgia to having a photo that you can hold in your hand, or like a
Yeah.
photo album.
Do you remember the picture views, like where you could get a little keychain made, and if you like
shit,
looked
yeah.
at it, it was a family photo.
No, I don't.
Yes, so
What?
they would
I
sell
don't
these
remember
little
those.
viewfinders.
Oh, put 'em on your
yes,
keychain.
The keychains, yes.
And
yes,
and then you would hold it
And it
up,
would
and
just
then
be a
it would
magic
the
I was thinking
photo.
even they would sell them bigger too. They would have like kaleidoscopes you could put. Yeah.
But like
And then
it was just these
the
little
Disney.
keychains.
That's what I had. We had the red
the
and yellow
viewfinder when when
viewfinder
you're at
that
the
looked
little
like a
slideshow
video.
thing.
Yeah, little slideshow thing.
But you could get ones made like if you were at the flume ride on the water park.
Oh, they take
one
a
of the
picture.
one of the packages was to get one of these. Little
I
viewfinders
actually fucked up yesterday. Me and Skylar were at the shore. We went on one of like the little roller coasters, and Skylar she's significantly shorter than her sister.
Yeah.
Okay. So they can't always go on the same rides.
Right.
So it was like, well, they're gonna go over here, but we'll go on this. And she kind of gravitates to my wife a little more than she does. She not anything. She just kind of like wants to be around.
Yeah, I saw a cute photo of them holding hands on the
there you go.
boardwalk.
But we went on this roller coaster, and she was having a blast, and she's got her hands up in the air, and they took the picture on the thing. I'm probably gonna remember this for long, and I didn't fucking buy the pic, and it was a good picture. And I'm like smiling, she's got her hands up, and I never buy that picture. And I think because I never buy that picture, I was never gonna buy that picture. And we were walking back to the car. I said, I should have bought that picture. I probably remember that for a long time.
Yeah, you can't get that picture any other way. So, like, if as a father, I think
I can't go back and be like, hey, on this date,
Your wife can't be trying to get it.
I can't get it ever again. I'm probably going to kick myself in the ass for a long time.
I have one on our fridge of me and Alicia. She loved the flume ride for a minute on Knoebels, and she loved it. And so there's one of us going down.
Yeah,
it.
I wish I.
And I was like, whenever those come up, like now, I think the same thing. I'm like, oh, it's like, and there's sometimes I haven't, but like, I want to make sure, or if a place has one of the photo booths, we get it.
The photo booths are cool. But what do they charge? Are they going to charge me $36? That's why.
That's
like,
why
I have
some
a
of them,
frugal dad.
some of them they usually have some kind of cheap package.
You
Whether
know
it's a digital or
You know what my sister would do?
What's that?
take a picture of the screen.
Exactly.
Now they put
but
an
now they
X
put
on
it-
it,
they
so you
put
can
a
do
thing
that.
on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dirty.
yeah,
Back in the
yeah,
day,
yeah.
she did it. She did.
But it's because
yeah,
my
she
dad
like-
is a cheap dude. My dad's a cheap motherfucker. Okay, I love him. I love you, Al.
Yeah.
You're cheap. Okay,
Yeah.
so we never took the picture. We never even considered getting the
Right.
picture.
Tourist.
That's a
That's
rip-off.
tourist
That's a rip-
stuff. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And so I just never considered it. And then I was like,
Take
I
it in
should've
your
kept that.
mind and remember.
It was never pay for the picture. And I wish I would have taken that picture because
Yeah.
there was a moment with her and I that like once again you can't duplicate these moments. Like it's gone.
So my daughter and I did shoot. Finally, I was thinking about it the other day. She hadn't been riding her bike, and I'm like, is this girl not going to know how to ride a bike? And she wanted to get on the bike, and of course the tires were flat. So then I'm like, all right, let's go to
that's the worst,
Wawa.
yeah.
Now part of me wanted to be like, oh, I guess you're not riding your bike. I'm
No,
like, no,
then
let's
you're
throw
like,
it
I
into
gotta
Wawa
get- yeah.
because Wawa has the free air pump thing.
Yeah,
and
with
we
the
live
lines.
right by one.
Was the line really long? Because the line's always
No,
long. at
but the
Wawa
issue
area.
was there was a accident on the main road there, so they were diverting the traffic through the back of the Wawa.
Oh no.
And so like this guy in a big truck like almost hit. Jesse was talking on the last episode about how like the minute somebody even looks at his daughter,
Oh,
the
you're
wrong
ready to
way.
go. You're
So
like-
this guy
you're
like
Wolverine.
came barreling through that, was probably pissed that he was getting diverted
Mm-hmm.
and barreled through. And here's my daughter like trying to walk her bike behind my car to go to the thing, and I just kind of stood over like I was gonna get crushed if he like came
Yeah,
at me. But it was just kind of like I gave him a look like, you're being a douche right now, and he had no idea. It was fine, but it was just like she had, so we get the air filled up, and now we're going through the thing. She's riding around and she's like, oh daddy, like there's a tree stump up here. Oh, this is the house that gave me all the candy that one time, and like all these memories I hadn't thought of that in her mind were big memories, and it made me think about the moments that I might think are big moments, but what are the moments that they're thinking
Her big
are
moment.
big
Yeah,
moments?
yeah,
And I don't want it to be one of the moments when I said no. Oh, your tires are flat. We're not. Gonna,
I guess we'll do something.
So
ride your
like I don't
skateboard
want
instead.
that
Yeah,
to
you don't
be a
wanna doing
memory,
that.
and I know there are some of those memories in there that I won't want her to have that she's holding on to.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm like, okay, now anytime I really think about that, like you
Yeah.
were saying, like anytime we say no, I got to say it.
It better be a good. I just feel like it better be a good
reason.
reason to say no, because if you say no because you're just too tired,
Yeah.
you're not going to feel good about. You're not going to feel good about
And
it.
my wife's really good about that because they have family traditions. Like they're going on first week of August. They go down to Rehoboth Beach. Her aunt gets the same place, the same
Yeah.
thing. Her grandmother goes.
And you'll
her
be on that?
mom.
Or
So
you'll be
no,
away?
I'll be
You'll be
away
away.
this year. But we've been doing it for
Mm-hmm.
over 14 years now. So I won't be there. So we're doing the trip to Kansas. We're doing a road trip to Kansas as sort of our version. But they have this, and so they know they're going to get Coors ice cream on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
They're going to go to Grotto one day. They're going to go to Obie's because her grandfather, who's passed, used to go and hang out there. So they do lunch there one day.
There you go.
They have these sort of things that have to happen in order for vacation and summer to have happened. And I love that. I love those traditions because those are clearly memories she remembered that my wife remembered that my wife wants to relive.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's cool. It's cool because I think the more things you expose your kids to, it'll be interesting to see what do they do with their kids.
Well, you're the MC of their memories.
Yeah, like what do they
You
do?
have
Which
to give them
ones?
the
Which ones do they
opportunity.
hold on to?
Yeah, yeah. And you got to give them the opportunity to have those memories. You
Yeah.
can't just be like, your memories riding your bike in the cul-de-sac. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not really what I was going for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got to give them.
We've not done camping. I have a vivid because the only were back in the 80s. You didn't have you weren't having like home videos. Like I have so much video footage of my kids. It's like Gaffigan's
But,
bit. Like I have more photos than my dad ever looked at me.
Right.
Like but we had a video of when I was 2, curly blonde hair, and they skipping rocks on Keene Lake.
Oh.
And we had this footage. I don't think we have it anymore, but I still vividly remember watching myself as a 2-year-old skipping rocks, and we were camping in a tent.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've not done that with my
Like an
daughter.
episode of Prairie Home
And
Companion.
in
right there.
Ellenville, New York, let me tell you something. Big Al D, my dad can skip fucking rocks. I put him against the back. He could send it boom, 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 boom. He would get like 9.
See, that's cool. Like you have
Albert,
this memory
the
of your
rock skipper.
dad.
Yeah,
like,
it's a memory of my dad. My dad
When he
could
was a
not
giant.
mess up. He was like, whoo.
He was
And I
cheap
would
as
get,
shit a few minutes
he was
ago.
cheap
If
as shit.
everybody remembers, he was
That's
a
why we were
cheapskate a
skipping
minute
rocks.
ago.
That's why we were skipping rocks, and they were free. All right, they were charging for the rocks. He wouldn't be skipping these fucking rocks. But he could, the memory. He could skip, and I remember learning how to skip rocks and like not knowing how to do it. And he's like, oh, that's a round rock. You can never skip that. It's got to be flat. And this whole thing. And like, memories.
Yeah.
I replay once a day. I replay my dad just sending that rock right across that little thing because there was land on the other side.
Right.
And every once in a while, he would get one across the other
the
side.
whole
He'd be like,
thing.
wow, dude, that's my fucking dad.
That's what I mean,
what'd
like
your
those-
dad do
I wanna
today? My
create
dad
those.
just sent that across the fucking
That was a
thing.
cool memory I had that they haven't had yet. So like where we camp out in a tent.
What, that their dad's a rock badass?
Yeah, no, yeah, right. But like, I want them. That's the only thing that I did as a child that I remember that I have not yet done with my
It was
kids,
camping.
Was camping outside in a tent.
Oh, I'm pumped for when you eventually go back to adult baseball and have time. And then you're doing it like I see you flexing and like coming out, bat over and like, that's my dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, it was adorable having them like be there for some of the games, like even 2 years ago when I was still playing. Like it is, it's
Yeah.
so cool when you have your kids because that's how we all felt. Like
Oh,
a
they
lot of
think
us who
you're,
are
they
older,
think you're
like,
Superman. Are you kidding
yeah.
me? You're
Dude,
oh my god!
one of the guys on my team, his name's Sean, and he's I don't know how I met him. I met him because one of the guys on the team had a friend. We needed a player, and this guy was just like. He's just like, I don't know. He's not like Rinaldi has the South Philly style. He's got that style about him, but from like Pottstown. And he's like he always wanted to be such a good dad. Now he's got 3 boys and his kids are now old enough that they're in Little League. And it's so awesome watching him like dote on them on social media. And they are that. And he's just so cool to watch him creating these memories for his kid that I remember him talking about when his wife was pregnant, and now like 10 years later,
He's doing it.
killing it, and he's killing it.
Look
He's,
at my
like, so
boys
cool to
knocking the
watch.
shit out of this.
And it could be,
oh.
and he could have been so easily with the way he grew up and where he grew up, could have just been a deadbeat
Sure.
dad,
Yeah.
and that. I think because whenever you have that happen to you, he's being the best version of himself.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
it's
that's
so
a
cool.
parental cycle.
It's so cool to watch because he's not like this polished. He has his own business and stuff like that, but he's still him. He's
Yeah.
not trying to be someone he's not, but he's also being the best version of
Well,
him.
that's a tie that binds us all is our desire to be good fathers.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
You know what I mean?
Just any movie that's got a dad thing in it. Don't even
does
get
that
me
get-
started.
Field of Dreams.
I'm
you
already
cried, you
tearing
cried.
up.
Field of-
I'm already
Field of
tearing up. You can see it.
Field of Dreams.
And
You,
he's still-
you cried? Yo, let me tell you
No,
something.
Field of Dreams.
I never saw it.
Oh,
I never
okay.
saw it.
It's okay.
I know what happens, and I
Yeah.
think I've seen parts of that part that every guy loses. His head.
honestly, the book is really good. I'm so into baseball. That was the only thing I would ever read. That and the Book It program that Pizza Hut started in the 90s.
Yeah,
it
we
wasn't
all
for
did
those
that.
two things. It wasn't for baseball and pizza. I'd never read. I'd be illiterate. But the book it's by W.P. Kinsella. And I forget what it's called. Like Shoeless Joe, I think might be
Shoeless
the
Joe Jackson, right?
actual
Johnson,
name of
Shoeless
the
Joe Jackson?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
that's
the
the name
name
of
of
the
the
book?
book is
Okay.
actually like Shoeless Joe or something like that. It's not called
Was
Field of
Shoeless Joe
Dreams.
Jackson or Johnson?
Jackson.
Shoeless Joe Jackson. That was the guy.
But so my wife and I on our first honeymoon took a road trip to the Field of Dreams.
Oh, no shit.
And hit every baseball stadium on the way there.
Oh,
And then
wow.
during the day would do something history because my wife likes history. So if there was a president's home nearby,
oh
or
my
Lincoln's,
gosh,
whatever.
No, this guy's romantic ass shit.
And that was
Good for
cool.
you,
Like
dude.
that was our first. We did a whole road trip out and back, and it was so much fun. And we went out to the Field of Dreams, played catch on the
Nice.
field. Yeah, it's a really cool story because it is sort of this. He gets to meet his dad, like, and have a catch with him, but it was this ghost.
But his dad doesn't know it's his son, right? Isn't
so
that
at
what
the
it is?
time, I don't know.
Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen this. I
If
think
you
I'm the
haven't
only one who
seen
hasn't
it-
I think his dad doesn't realize it's his
It's
son, but he knows it's his dad.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Because he's hit the version of himself from that moment prior to
Yeah,
having
before
kind of
having
like
kids,
the Back
yeah.
to the Future.
And then once he walks in the
and
corner,
Marty
he's
McFly
done,
not
right?
knowing he's a dad, you know that
He almost
whole scene.
Marty McFly almost banged his mom.
That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
that's a
I know
whole-
that's
Universal
hot as
Studios.
shit, right? It's pretty fucking hot.
Right, now you got to go to Brazos to
Progressive.
see shit like that.
Progressive, I know.
Well, that's why there's a Greek myth that goes along Oedipus, the one you've heard,
Oedipus, right?
Oedipus
Yes.
complex, but
But,
scenario there.
Baseball is like the dad-son sport, right?
Well, that's it, playing catch in the yard with the-
That's
with the
usually
old
like the first
man.
one is like, baseball, right?
I'd never
I mean,
played catch with my old man.
You never play catch with your old man?
Frisbee, maybe
Okay.
Frisbee once. I remember having this Pepsi Cola Frisbee that was in the shape of a bottle cap
Okay.
that we played in a park. I remember that. But
Me,
that's-
that was the first. Me and my dad was the first one catch.
yeah, catch.
Yeah, I remember.
My mom put on the catcher gear and squatted and I
Yeah.
would pitch to her.
Well, you know, I remember. I mean, I remember my first.
Your
baseball
other mom's
glove.
umping.
Yeah, that's right.
That's funny. But I remember my dad. I remember dad buying the glove. putting the oil in the glove,
Yeah.
wrapping it up. You had to put it under your mattress so you couldn't use it for a couple
Oh,
of
you
days.
did
It was
the whole
kind of like a
thing?
bummer,
Yeah,
but it
with
was
the
like
ball in it,
it was a
yeah.
traditional thing of like, and that was a thing that brought us together.
Yeah.
That brought us together, but it was what
Yeah.
he and I did.
My
And
dad, I grew up trash, so it was bows. I had a bow.
Yeah.
My dad had like 100-pound bow, and then I was like, Dad, can I get a bow? And then he was like, we'll get a compact bow. Yeah, buddy. Probably the closest I felt to my father ever.
but everyone has something, right? Bow,
Yeah.
basketball, bow, horse. I mean, whatever
Oh
it
my,
is. Like,
yeah. Your thing with your dad skipping was I've never saw. It was 100-pound bow, so a little child like would go up to the bow, and I would try to pull.
you're like using your
Yeah,
and then I'm trying to do
yeah.
anything, and then you just see my giant 6'5" as well.
Yeah.
just easily pull it back and just do it. You're
And
just
you're
like
that-
you're a
that-
giant,
that
huge
girl's
man.
my hero.
Well, yeah.
yeah, dude, your dad can do no wrong. I mean, right? It's like, as long we said that probably the first episode, as long as you're present. I mean, you kind of can't do any wrong, but you got to truly be present.
Yeah.
Put your phone down, stop bullshit, and just be there, and you will be the hero. You will
right.
win. You will win that episode of dadding.
Yeah,
That's true.
Yes, I think it's really interesting because we've circled like a lot around the same topics, and this podcast is cool because you guys are talking about things from different perspectives. Kind of in the same, your kids are kind of close in the same ages, so it's going to be interesting, like as this goes, because
Yeah,
you're gonna meet these other challenges, because you're gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna be present, but she's also 12 now, and
And does
wow,
not want
I
you-
could not be present a little bit, maybe like
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah,
You know what I
it's-
mean?
I had a moment even this morning, it's been nice. I've been around the house. I didn't have anything yesterday. We had all day yesterday. I was there Friday, Sunday. So it's like, and then in the mornings when you're just all in the house and, watching them play together or trying to remind them to pick up stuff. Cause then you've seen now that they're on to another toy and they've left
they've
the
left
other
that
toy
piece of
there.
shit
And
toy
so
on
there's
the
this
floor.
lot of like, it starts out very calm and everybody's happy. And then slowly you can see the resentment from me and my wife because we've talked to them so much about this and we've tried to be cool about it. And now they're moving on. And you're like, I can see my wife, the minute my daughter comes in, she's like, I'm like, your daughter. She's like, no, that's your daughter because she annoys me and she's doing it on purpose.
Yeah. When they say your daughter, you know it's a fucking.
That's
shit.
what
Like,
she
you better
said
talk
to me.
this
And I was
daughter.
like, those are two true things. Okay.
You know, we were saying this yesterday. Yesterday we went to the beach, bright and early. We were there all day long.
Right.
Got home at 10 o'clock.
Right.
Dropped them off at their mother's house at 10 o'clock. Not a single argument. Those girls did not fight. They did not bicker. And that's like a feather in the cap, right?
Yeah.
Like, you did a good job when they didn't even think to argue with one another. Just killed it.
So I had a cool moment yesterday. So last night, I took them to. So yesterday I was trying to figure out how to break up the day because we had the whole day. So like in the morning we just kind of let the morning happen. Breakfast happens. I'm working on some stuff on my computer, but I'm in the living room where they're watching TV and we're all around each other, and they're floating between dolls and books and tablets. And then all of a sudden it's like, all right, we got to do something. So like, all right, let's go to Barbie. We'll go to the matinee, so it's cheaper. Get it out of the way. The seats. I looked at all the time, so I'm like, all right, we'll go to the 12:10 Barbie.
Is Barbie? It's a kids movie.
So no, it's not. So it's like
Dave Permiano went to this movie, so no.
so
But-
it's really nostalgia
He
for
would not be allowed to
parents.
go to this movie.
It's really preteens and up, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it has the message of like what Barbie was trying to be
Right.
and what the Barbies in the Barbie world thought they were empowering women.
Idealization.
And then they go to the real world and they
they're like-
realize it's the opposite because Will Ferrell plays like the CEO of Mattel and it's all guys in the boardroom.
being, like,
he's
kinda
like, wait,
creeps.
there's no female CEO. He's like, well, one or two times. There was another time that there was a female at some point. So there's two. And it's
Okay.
just like this whole like thing. So it wasn't for them, but we went, did the deal, got there early, got their popcorn, got their ices. This time I got them their two separate small popcorns. So
Ooh.
financially, it was probably spent an extra $3 or $4.
Yeah,
but there was the
independence.
piece of them having their own.
That's
Not messing with
thing.
the others.
I would have
popcorn.
thought you were trying to give these two girls one popcorn this whole time.
So I had been getting
Yeah,
them one
seriously,
large.
Dad? Like shit.
But I get one large just because I would try to play it like, oh, 2 drinks, 1 large. And there was like a combo package.
Yeah.
Or there was the kid package and that little like rectangle, my daughter would like pound popcorn. And so it's like, so then I got them the 2 smalls. Got their own ices.
Nice.
And everybody was happy. They didn't have to share, so that was great. And then like I was saying the other episode, like my daughter goes to the bathroom and she's 10 now, and even though she's being independent, so I try to let her go to the bathroom on her own. And I looked at the clock, and she comes back, and then all of a sudden I hear Dad, and I'm like, oh no! In my head, when she said Dad, I like panicked. I'm like, it's the seats are the ones where you have to. I'm trying to find the button, and it's like,
hold on, wait.
I pop up, and as I pop up, she's like, I'm back, and I'm thinking she's like got her pants around her ankles,
Everything was normal,
and is like walking down naked.
You're waiting to turn around,
and
I'm
like, and she just wanted to tell me in front of this entire theater that she was back. But so like, you know,
was Barbie sold out? Was it sold out?
So, no, it wasn't that bad. That's why I picked that one, because it wasn't too bad. But then we did that. So okay, now that they couldn't hang, so we couldn't stay for the whole movie. So it started at 12:10. I would say by 1:40 we were out, and it hadn't quite resolved. It was like in the final arc,
Gotcha.
but it hadn't arc. So we pieced out, and then I was like, "Oh, do you want to go out for lunch?" And my oldest was like, "No, I want to go home." All right, that's cool, because I was like, I don't have to spend any more money.
Yeah.
We go home. So now it's like 2:33. So then we're like, okay, everybody kind of just took a nap, relaxed. And then we went out for dinner because they saw a place that had the bar. As we were driving home, they saw a restaurant that had the Barbie like
Cut out
box that you could stand in and get a photo. And it was at
I
this,
think I saw that. You
and it was
posted
across the thing at this really nice Italian restaurant. So I was like, oh, cool. All right, let's go to this really nice Italian restaurant. And we did. It was delicious. It was a place called Piccolo Mondo in North Coventry. Phenomenal food.
Okay.
And so we did that. And then next thing you know, we're like, oh, then let's go swimming. Let's do something physical, because we've sat all day.
You ate some popcorn.
We haven't really done much. So then we went to the pool at my aunt's. But the reason I got on this was because I had a moment where my wife's aunt had said to us at the end, she's like, oh, I love your kids. And she like really, because like they're so sweet, like they're very polite. Like even Alicia, who's very abrasive, is so adorable and tries to be polite. And you can tell that when she's not thinking of stuff and she just says something, it's totally not to be mean or rude. Yeah. But it's just cool because it was just nice to hear somebody dote on your kids that doesn't have to and didn't have to say anything.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, I'm doing a good job here. They're being respectful. They have these other people that are going and giving a hug to Uncle Chris before we leave, who looks like this like big burly like hunter kind of guy. Well, and he's so soft around the girls. And the girls are so soft around him. And it's so cool to see
both
the
your girls know how to swim?
Yeah.
But no water wings, nothing.
No. Yeah. So they do make Alicia makes other people nervous because she likes the feeling of being surrounded by water. So she likes to dip herself under to kind of be. Yeah. And so sometimes I've had at hotels, the lifeguard
can you
needs me like by her so that he feels safe, which I get. But she doesn't need anything.
I'm paying you for.
Yeah. I was like, but I get it. He's like on alert.
Obviously.
So it's like one of those things. So I sit next to, I go in the water with them, which I usually go in the water with them. So I don't mind that. But yeah.
See, where my girls swim, I think that lifeguard is asleep. She has a big aviators. You can't see her eyes. You can tell you're like that girl is not awake. It's a great setup though, because at any given time there's like at best 7 people at this pool.
Right.
So it's like their own pool. It's at the condo complex where their grandmother lives. Skylar's just learning how to swim.
Gotcha.
But you got to like keep an eye out because I can't. Her grandmother's there a lot of times when we're swimming and in the water. But if I'm like doing something with Lainey, I got to make sure Skylar is like in the shallow and like, it's
like the basketball thing where you had to, like when you're learning how to play defense.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, ball, hand to the ball, hand to your defender, and at that one point you got to do that with 2 kids.
Yeah, because kids don't. Like now Lainey can swim fine. So I can leave Lainey and go to Skylar. But Lainey wants my attention. So if I'm over here like doing something with Lainey, I got to make sure that Skylar's in that place where she's. But her grandmother's also there with us, very
Help-side
engaged
defense.
in the water. Yeah.
But it's the name of the episode. Help-side defense.
And these kids, you put a kid in water, there's no off switch.
Yeah.
Oh, jump in, jump out, swim here, swim there, touch the bottom.
They will stay in there for hours.
Goodness. Lainey's complaining because her ears hurt because she keeps on going down to touch the bottom.
Yep.
I don't have a solution for
They do that now. They both can do the sinkies, they call them, where you
where you go down and get them.
You throw the rings or the whatever, and they loved it. And then the one has like the water squirt gun, and Alicia's just hitting
Just going nuts, and
trees,
there you
they're
go. It just
hours
the pool
hours
is-
of fun.
The pool is that's a blessing.
That's to
for a
like
kid.
summer. That's what summer is for me now. Summer to me is like at our great grandmother's pool, and we're just there. We're welcome to go anytime we want. 10 minutes from our house.
Yep.
And it's cool. It's
Do you bring
kind of nice.
snacks?
What's that?
Do you bring snacks?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on when we're going, but
Like grapes and shit like that?
If it's gonna be like goldfish, or they call it Princess Trail Mix, where we do goldfish and a couple M&Ms mixed in.
Okay, I like that. Princess Trail. Yeah.
That's what they call Princess Trail. So we'll do that, or I'll bring an applesauce pouch. It depends, or if half a sandwich if we're gonna be there for a bit.
Don't you love it? Don't you love when you pack a snack and they don't want it? And you're like, I'm gonna eat the shit. That's just like a bonus for a dad. It's like, oh, you don't want these Sour Patch Kids? Okay.
So I'm waiting for them.
Say no.
I'm waiting for them to do that with their dinner. Oh, you don't want them?
Yeah. Oh, that's such a blessing. You're like, okay, I'll eat that. I'm starving.
Yeah.
Well, because that's what they do. You got to throw them. Throw me in the air. Throw me in the air. I'm like 15 reps in here, kid, and I'm tired.
what I was
Like, you got to
telling
chill.
Katie
You
now,
got to
like-
chill out. Throw me here. Throw me there. Pull me here. The ones who wants to swim when she's on my back, and like
Yep.
I do it.
You're getting a
But
full
after like
workout in.
25, 30 minutes,
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
yo, you have no idea what I just went through. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, Jesus, I'm really burning some
All
fat
of a
here.
sudden, the two
Holy
girls
shit,
are going to be
yeah.
on top. They're going to go play something. You're
Yeah.
going to be at the bottom of the pool,
Yeah, exactly,
dying,
exactly.
drowning of
and this bitch
exhaustion.
is sleeping over here. She's not even paying attention. Yeah, because it's a lot. But you know, you do
Our
what
thing
you
is
do what you gotta
whirlpool
do.
because it's a round pool that we
Oh,
go to.
whirlpool,
yeah,
So it's
sure.
whirl. So then
Oh,
I'm
well.
walking. I'm getting my steps in.
You get your steps in the
And then
water.
they might like hang on me and like we're swimming,
Yeah.
but we're just swimming in circles for however long
We
we're-
would get it going.
And then- yeah, that's
You
the
can
goal.
you can rock
we're,
one out.
We're,
Yeah,
getting,
you can-
we're
you
getting
can-
it rolling, and that's our big thing. Or my daughter loves. We'll do this football, and I'll pretend like I'm doing the point, like an Uncle Rico kind of.
Sure,
like,
sure.
And then she'll try to jump off the ladder
and catch it. Oh
midair.
wow!
So like we're doing that. Like so she'll play with that. And like we'll play with that ball forever, or
then,
a beach ball.
And then ocean swimming's different. Ocean swimming is scary with a kid.
Well, so my wife just told me, actually, I'm glad you said that because I just reminded myself. She wants us to get one of the vests, the buckle vest that you
Ocean's
want.
scary. Ocean's different.
Well, you set it up for your kids. I was the beach kid. We went to the beach. I was like our vacation every summer. My aunt had my uncle had a little tiny little apartment
Yeah.
in Cape May. So but beaches where we went, right? But you guys, you set it up. Like you have to set it like, hey, well, most you don't go past your knees.
Yep.
Like even that, like,
Yeah.
because that's riptide stuff. Like, hey, kid, listen to me. I'm telling you, this is what we're doing today. To a certain age, you don't go past your knees unless I'm there.
Yeah.
That's just a general
always there.
rule.
I'm always
You
there.
got to have
Yeah,
that help
and-
side defense.
Yeah.
And usually they would just go like, parents are always like, this is where
Yeah,
you
this is our
swim,
zone.
and I have a direct eye just chilling.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like the two rules that of course every kid should follow. But the vest I like. I like the idea.
vest
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
one.
just because if
Nothing wrong with
something
that.
gets pulled, because Alicia has no fear sometimes
Yeah.
of that, and she'll go right out, and then all of a sudden that wave will grab her, and boom,
Yeah.
and you're grateful to have the buoyancy or something that's going to make her force her to the top.
Totally.
Once all of that
Yeah.
goes,
And
and,
every
if
once
it's a
in a
bright
while-
color, something that's
Right.
can easily be spotted or whatever, then
And every once
that
in a
all
while,
helps.
a wave will knock the shit out of Laney. It'll knock the shit out of a kid. I guess there's some big waves in the Atlantic Ocean, and a couple of them are like, so you like dive under the wave, and then you pop up, and you're like, okay, where's my
There's something
kid?
about I love going out far enough and like trying to like jump them or
Yeah.
like
Oh,
that's
it's fun.
like
It's
that's
fun.
my favorite thing.
It's
is just
fun.
go out
Oh, yeah.
and jump the
But
wave.
then you're like, okay, which one's
But
mine?
when
Okay,
there's
there's
a
my
kid,
kid.
when there's a kid with you, and all of a sudden you got to be mindful of them. and what they can
We're
handle.
never the furthest one out. We're never that crew. Okay, let those guys be the furthest ones out. We're gonna stay in. That way, when the shark comes
Shark
in,
attack,
he's
right.
gonna eat them first because they're
Yep.
easy to go. We're gonna see that. We're gonna freak out and go. But they do a really good job in Brigantine Beach with the lifeguards and stuff. It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
When it's cool, they're in the sand too, so I get in the molds and all of that. They'll sit there and dig, and I love doing that. We had a lake that had a sand beach up near me in Scranton,
Yeah.
called Murley Sarnosky Park, and we used to go up there because it was like going to the beach. But
Yeah.
it was sand.
Was it
You could
brown
dig.
water?
Well, yeah, it was lake. It was nasty.
Yeah, that brown.
But it was a park. But yeah, it was like that was what we would do, and that's how I would play in the sand, and then, kids love that too. So you dig the big trenches and
Yeah,
let the
pour some water
fill
in there.
the
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and bury someone in the sand. You have all of that stuff. So I'm more of a curmudgeon now with all of that. I don't like it as much. I'd much rather be at the beachside bar on the deck.
Sure. Of course.
But like I understand that I'm happy for the family. That's where I say it takes a village. because I mean, but now the family,
Yeah, it's the
somebody's
primary.
always willing to get down and do that. Like last night, her aunt was like, "Oh, we got to pull out the beach toys, see what we got, take an
Yeah.
inventory," and I'm like, "That's crazy," but I'm glad you're doing that.
We'll get better than
That's
me.
it, man.
I just wanted to go back because I know we covered at the ending there, but like I think that you were talking about your friend, the baseball dad, right?
Yeah,
And I feel like that's what I guess to bring it back, like Rabbit, because you guys are doing all like these great moments. You're trying to seize these moments and have them be special, or let them be what they are and absorbing them, which is great. And when you were talking about that dad, I think that's what gets me in movies and teared up, because there's just a lot of fathers who got a rough childhood, like and mothers as well, just got a rough childhood, and they've made the choice, the sacrifice to like basically commit their life to making sure that doesn't happen for this kid, and that's just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's what I was saying.
gets
That's
me.
the connection.
That
Yo,
gets
when
me.
you're out there dadding,
Yeah.
and you see another dad,
Right.
it's like especially when they're doing the dad thing right.
Yeah.
You're connected to that dude.
Definitely.
I don't know where you're from. I don't know
Yeah.
your political affiliation. I don't know if you've done some time. I have no idea. You seem to have some weird tattoos. It's questionable. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You and I are the same.
Yeah.
We're dadding. And like, I know you're looking out for your little ones. I'm looking out for my little. I know you're tired. I'm tired. I know you're probably hungry. I'm hungry, but we're doing this thing. And it happens. You see me
Yeah,
like,
there's
what's
a
up, bro?
camaraderie to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
say,
yeah.
give them the what's up, bro. And they know what's going on. They know that you're exhausted and that wave just smacked you in the face and you got some salt water in your nose. They get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
same
they're out
thing.
there with you. And it's like,
It's
that
important.
connects us all, man. That's what it is.
Definitely.
That's a good end. I like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Seriously, Dad?
Thank you for listening to the dads, for once. Give these daddies a break. And maybe follow, subscribe, like, and comment to the dads on Instagram and YouTube at Seriously Dad Pod. Rate and review Seriously Dad Podcast on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, and everywhere you get your podcasts.
Seriously, Dad?
How you doing? This is Neil Wood from the Cult of Us podcast, speaking on behalf of Drop 10 Media Network, the network you're currently listening to. Make sure to check out all the other podcasts on the network. You can go to drop10.com to check them all out. Make sure to like, subscribe on everything that you see Drop 10 on. We appreciate it. Go to drop10.com now.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.